Welcome along to the On-Road Podcast, another video, and today I am talking about the technical inspection process that you'll experience at the 12 Scale Nationals that are about to kick off next week at Eastbourne. I thought this was a useful video to encourage any newbies or new guys that are going to be going to the 12 Scale Nationals in terms of what they will find as the process before they put their car down on track after practice. So practice, you don't actually have to go through technical inspection because it is practice, but it is good to use technical inspection to just check that your car is in order. Things you need to pay attention to the first time you go to a national is that your motor, your LiPo and your ESC are on the homologation list. You can find that on the BRCA website. If you go to the 12th circuit section, you'll find the homologation list there, and you can run through what LiPos, motors and ESCs you can use. Also, the body shell needs to be on the homologation list as well. I believe the Montec M20 is no longer allowed. You've got to now get the M21. That's changed, so that's only the body shell that I believe you can't run. Going on from there, once you prepped your car, there are certain things that you need to appreciate. First things first is your ride height will be measured. So it's a minimum of 3mm ride height, and what you'll turn up to is a desk very much like I've got in front of you, and you'll have a strip of metal that runs down the desk. What will happen is you'll get a chap that is going to run your car over the top of that bit of lifted metal that will be in the middle of the desk, and it is 3mm high. And as long as your car runs over the top of that bit of metal and it doesn't touch the chassis, you are good to go. The important things to remember is that on these cars, sometimes if you're running the certainly the X Factor, sometimes these stators they tend to have a bit of an opportunity of bending and so they can actually protrude the bottom of the pod plate. So you could be running 3mm on your pod plate, but because the X Factor motor is just slightly twisted, it might sit below the pod plate. So just be aware of that. You could be running 3.4, and if you've got 0.4, 0.6 below the pod plate, you would fail ride height. Now also with the ride height, let me just get rid of the mess, a bit of tyre dust from Chesterfield. So that's the strip that you run down. Now either side of that strip will be a track width measurement, and so what you'll have is you'll have a metal block there and a metal block there, and this gap between these two bookcases will be 172 wide. So 172mm will be the gap between these two books, and that's the maximum rear width or the maximum track width that you can run your 12 scale at. So as I say, you'll turn up, that's actually a little bit too thick, but you'll have a strip of metal here that's 3mm high. You'll run your car through the block. It will test for your ride height and it will test for your track width. So that's the first test that you will be asked to pass before you can put your car down on the track. Once you pass that test, and of course I would encourage you to get yourself one of these rulers. It's a metal ruler. I would get metal rather than plastic, a metal ruler. And before you go out, you just want to make sure that when you run your ruler across your rear axle, it's no more than 172. I'm running at 171 here, and that way you know that when you go to the technical inspection, you're not going to fail on track width. And of course you would have your ride height gauge as well. You check your rear ride height on both sides, and then you would check your front ride height as well, and then you'd check the center as well. So there would be no less than 3mm ride height on your car. So the next thing that will be tested is battery voltage. So someone will come along or will be sitting at the desk and they'll have a voltmeter and they'll put one of them in the positive, one of them in the negative, and then it will give them a volt reading. So you can see I've run this car and I've put it back to storage. It's at 3.87. So you can't go above 4.20. Once you've done that, you can now weigh your car, or you have to weigh your car. So the scales will be on and there'll be something like that sitting on the top of it. Oops, let me turn that back to grams. So it's zeroed out. Then you'll stick your car on it. Then you'll stick your body shell on it, and it'll need to weigh 730 grams. So I need to zero that. So car on, and then your body shell on, and you can see my car's weighing in at 756. So a little bit heavy there, and still managed to TQ. Don't want to go on about it. So a little bit heavy, need to sort that out. I've actually got 10 grams extra on there. I thought that was, so obviously the Trinity lipos are actually slightly heavier than the ones I were using before. And once you've done that, you are now good to go. So you've checked your ride height, you've checked your track width, you've checked your lipo voltage, and you've checked your weight. The homologation side of things, if you haven't got a homologated bit of kit, speak to a friend, see if you can borrow that to run along. Don't go out and buy something new. Come along to a national and really experience the slightly more intense competition. But let me tell you, in the pits, it's every bit the same as a club meet. Everybody there to race, have a good time, no more, no less. So hopefully this little video has given you some insight into what you're going to experience going through technical inspection before you pop your car down to run your first round of qualifying. If you've liked the video, it would really be a big help to me if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, seeing as you're here, hit the bell, you won't miss another video. There's lots more coming soon, and I look forward to seeing you all trackside soon.